Welcome to today's session. Before beginning with the class, let's have a look at the thought for the day. And today's thought is, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So true. Why? Because my mind is that part of my body which really controls everything. Everything from like what I think, all my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my likes, my dislikes, everything is controlled by my mind. So, if I think that I cannot do something, I am weak, I am unable to get or achieve what I want, because I have already made up my mind in advance that I won't be able to do it. So, I will really not be able to do it, even after giving it a try. But if from the beginning I have a thought that whatever happens, I am going to do it, I will be successful, I will achieve my goal, and then you see, when you are trying for this thing, for whatever you want to achieve, because you already had a thought in your mind that you will be able to do it, you will really be able to do it. It's all because in the mind you already had that thought. This is why it is told that the mind is everything. If mentally I feel I'm strong, I'm really strong. Because my mind is sending those waves to me, saying that yes, I am strong. So always, before being strong physically, try to be strong mentally. Right? Because that is what is more important. That doesn't mean that I don't need to be strong and healthy physically. That is important. But first thing is my mind, which I need to control, which I need to make it so strong. Right? Like I can give you an example of a small ant. So tiny it is, isn't it? Looking at it, we might think, what is this tiny ant going to do? But at times you see that small little ant carrying some piece of food which is even bigger than the ant itself. So had it been that the ant would have thought that no, I cannot carry this big particle of food, so it would never have been possible for the ant. But then that small ant, physically small, has a control over her mind, and that's the reason why she is able to carry along with her the particle which is maybe double than her size. So all this is here, nowhere else. So that's the reason why, my dear students, I want you all to be strong. Strong physically, but more strong mentally. So with this thought, let's start with today's class. In today's class, we're going to continue with the chapter Ranga's Marriage from our snapshot book. And as you had seen in our previous video, how the writer is talking about his village. It only shows that the writer gives a lot of importance to his village. He takes it as his pride to describe even small little things like the pool, the creeper, the mango. So all these things is describing to the readers so that we really feel that the village is very important place. Okay, now let's see in today's chapter what is Ranga doing and how and what he faces when he comes back to the village after his studies from Bangalore. What I writer comes to the point and he's talking about what the lesson is. So he says, the story that I'm going to tell you, it had taken place 10 years back. And at that time, not many people in our village, he says, were able to speak in English. There was a village accountant who had been courageous, who had been brave enough to send his son to Bangalore for his higher studies, for his further studies. In very long back in olden days, the people, they did not consider sending their children to cities as a good sign. It was not a good thing for them. Thinking that a person going to city may change, his habits may change, he may lose all his connections with his village and with his family. So with that fear, the people were not sent to cities. But slowly, with the passage of time, with the changing situations and scenario, everything started changing. And that is what the writer says, that now the matter or the scenario is different. This is what I am talking about was 10 years back. Those days, we did not speak in English, nor did we bring in English words while talking. So during that time, that period of time, that is 10 years back, he says we did not use lot of English. We did not speak English, neither did we use English words in our regular speaking. Like we do know now also when we talk, even if we are talking in Hindi or say Punjabi or any other language, we use lot of English terms like chair, table, towel, isn't it? So all these are English things that we use. So now in this part of lesson, the writer is going to talk about the influence of English language. Okay? In Kannada. So Kannada is the language that they speak in their village. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. The other day, I was in Rama Rao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. Rama Rao's son came out to pay for it. He asked the woman, "How much should I give you?" "Give you 4 pies," he said. So now he is here again reciting an incident that is related to the usage of English words in our regular language, in our local language. And he is reciting an incident saying that one day I had been to Rama Rao's son. So he is somebody in the village, and then he says there what had happened, the people who sell firewood, the wood that is to be used as fuel, those people came and then they bought the bundle of firewood, and then Rama Rao's son came out and he asked, what is the cost of it? How much should he pay? She said that the cost of it is 4 pies. And the boy told her he did not have any change and asked her to come the next morning. The poor woman did not understand English word change and went away muttering to herself. I too did not know. Later, when I went to Ranga's house and asked him, I understood what it meant. So, this boy, he says, had used this word because the lady had demanded for 4 pies and he said that I don't have change. This is the English term. So, but the lady did not understand and she thought something else. Maybe the boy doesn't want to pay for it or something like that, or he's only making excuses for her to come next day for taking money. So she was angry over this thought and she went muttering, speaking something very slowly, which is not inaudible. And then he says, I was present at that time there, but even I did not understand the meaning of the word change. So later when I went to Ranga's house and I asked Ranga about it. And then I understood what is the meaning of the word change. This priceless commodity, the English language, was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. Decade is a period of 10 years. So he says, this language, English language, was not so commonly used 10 years back in our village. That was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. People rushed to his doorstep announcing, "The accountant's son has come. The boy who had gone to Bangalore for his studies is here, it seems. And come, Ranga is here. Let's go and have a look." So he says, this is the reason. Why? Because English language was not very common in our village, and this is the reason when Ranga came back after completing his studies, when he came back to village from Bangalore, everybody was excited. They were all curious to see Ranga and find out the changes that had come in the boy. Attracted by the crowd, I too went and stood in the courtyard and asked, "Why have all these people come here? There is no performing monkey here." So he says, I was also attracted when I saw so many people moving towards one direction. I also thought of following them, and I reached to Ranga's house. And then I asked, why everybody has gathered here? Why everybody has come here? There is no show of monkey going on here. This means, in Hindi we call it tamasha. Right? So that is what the phrase says, that no monkey is performing here. A boy, a fellow without any brains, said loud enough for everyone to hear, "What are you doing here then?" A youngster, immature and without any manners, thinking that all these things were now of the past, I kept quiet. So when he is asking the people over there who is gathered, why has everybody come here? Then instead of replying to him, there is a young man in the crowd, and he says, if you are asking us, tell us first, why have you come here? We have come here for whatever purpose. What is the reason that you have come here? And then he felt like it was insulting. He didn't expect this type of behavior from a young man, but he was quiet. He did not give any answer to this. Seeing so many people there, Ranga came out with a smile on his face. Had we all gone inside, the place would have turned into what people call the black hole of Calcutta. So he says, after seeing so many people who have come to meet him, Ranga himself came out of the house. Why? Because there was not so much of space in the house to accommodate all these people. And this large gathering could not be accommodated inside the house. So Ranga himself came out. And he says, if had it been that everybody would have moved inside the house, then it would really have been very suffocating. Thank God it did not. Everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had been 6 months ago, when he had first left our village. So when Ranga came out, people lost their enthusiasm. They lost their excitement. Why? Because they did not see any major changes in Ranga. They were not able to trace any changes in Ranga for that matter. Right? And they were all very disappointed with this. An old lady who was near him ran her hand over his chest, looked into his eyes and said, "The Genevera is still there. He hasn't lost his caste. She went away soon after that." Ranga laughed. So there was an old lady. She came near Ranga and she just tried to move her hand across the chest of Ranga. That is, maybe it seemed that she is trying to shower her love, her blessings over Ranga, but then the reality was she was trying to search for something, feel for something. And what was that? That was the sacred thread. That is known as Genevera. Here it is given. It is a Janeu, also it is called in Hindi, and that is a sacred thread which people wear, especially the Brahmins, right? And that is a symbol of religion. So she is happy to see that Ranga is still wearing that thread. And she says, he has not lost his religion, his caste. That means after going to Bangalore, he had not become so modern that he had removed his thread. No, he has not done any of this type of thing. And she is happy and she goes away. After this incident, Ranga laughs. There is of course not any major changes that are visible through our eyes. But yes, there may be some changes which might have taken place in Ranga, and that is here. Again, in the mind. Because education really changes our thought process. Right? The way you think, the way you look at things, the way you react to things, all this changes if you are educated. Once they realized that Ranga still had the same hands, legs, eyes and nose, the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in a child's mouth. So the writer says once these people, the crowd that had gathered there, when they realized that nothing has changed, he has got those same 2 hands, 2 legs, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 ears, 2 eyes. So the writer here is like being little bit sarcastic. He wants to say as if they were expecting that Ranga had come back from the city with 3 hands, 2 nose, a tail. Were these people expecting such type of changes in Ranga, so that they had gathered here to have a look at him? And then he says slowly, when they did not find any changes in Ranga, that is physically, they all started dispersing, moving up. So he says that the crowd started melting just like a lump of sugar that a child eats, and slowly it melts, it disappears in the mouth. I continued to stand there. After everyone had gone, I asked, "How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you?" It was only then that Ranga noticed me. He came near me and did a namaskara respectfully, saying, "I am all right with your blessings." So the writer says that I let the crowd disappear, go away, and then I went near Ranga and I started talking to him. Until this time, Ranga did not see the writer. Okay, and then Ranga takes blessings from the writer and he says that I am all right with your blessings. This is how we speak respectfully to our elders. So in spite of studying in the city, Ranga had not lost his value. This is one thing we come to know after seeing his behavior towards the writer, that he has not forgotten to give respect to his elders. I must draw your attention to this aspect of Ranga's character. He knew when it would be his advantage to talk to someone and rightly assess people's worth. So the writer says, I want to carry your attention towards one of the characteristic, one of the quality of Ranga, and that is Ranga had a good thought process. He could evaluate people and he would talk to the people as per their values, like if he had some benefit of talking with them or no. So that way Ranga was very clever and very much able to differentiate and evaluate people. As for his namaskara to me, he did not do it like any present day boy, with his head up towards the sun, standing stiff like a pole without joints, jerking his body as if it was either a wand or a walking stick. So he says, Ranga did not show respect in a modern way. Like nowadays, even talking about you, me, when we are trying to touch our elders' feet, what do? Only this much. Our hand doesn't even reach to their feet. It's only we touch their knees. Right? So, that should be instead of what it should be like touching the knees. That is a half respect. or that is a modern way how people behave, how people give respect. And this, the writer says, it is like as if a stiff pole or a stick which cannot move, which cannot bend because it does not have any joints. So that way people are touching feet nowadays. But Ranga did not do this. Ranga properly bent down on the floor, on the ground, and touched his feet. May you get married soon, I said, blessing him. After exchanging a few pleasantries, I left. So, when we bow down to our elders, they bless us. They give us their blessings. So, here the writer also gives blessings to Ranga, and what is that? He says, get married soon. And then after talking for some time, maybe Ranga had brought something from city, so he had given this to writer also. And then he says, I left from that place. So that's all for today's class. In our next class, we'll continue with the lesson. Until then, keep learning, keep experiencing, and keep thinking big. Thank you. Bye-bye.